This will probably get a lot of hate. My light's kind of out right now, but I'll work with what I have right now until I get a new light. But yeah, I'm gonna say this, but I don't know how people feel. But I think like Black Clover is probably one of the best animes I've seen in like the past few years. To be honest, like when I watch it, like I'm not overly excited, but overly annoyed at it. I'm never like, seriously, he just happens to have this ultimate power. Seriously, it's like, you see, those animals when somebody just has like the world's greatest power, and like, come on now, like, you know, it's like one of those things. Like with Naruto, everything was great, but then like just thinking that you had that Jack card he had. What's it called? He had what's it called when you're hiding a card? He had ace in his sleeve, ace in the hole. He had an ace in the hole. Yeah, I think that he had an ace in the hole, which is the Kurama, which is the Nine Tails. I'm like, come on, man. You know what I mean? And then stuff like, again, I'm not hating on these animes. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't feel like that. I don't know. Like when I watch it, I'm like, he worked for that. You know what I mean? Like it's a different feeling when I watch Black Clover. Because like when I watch let me see another anime, like anime like Bleach or One Piece, I guess. Yeah, Bleach or One Piece, or even My Hero Academia, like these other shonen animes. When I watch them, I'm like even though I watched them, in the back of my head, I'm like, seriously, like he's gained all these abilities, even though it's in general it's not really that special of an ability. I'm like, oh my god. Like especially with characters like Midoriya and Ichigo from Bleach. Like it's like, what are the odds that they happen to get the most powerful abilities of all, like the Soul Reapers? He happens to be a Quincy. He happens to be a Soul Reaper. He happens to have all these special like things in his blood. It just happens to happen like that. Seriously, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. And then with My Hero Academia, I'm like, seriously, the world's greatest superhero just gives him his powers. Like anybody could have gotten it. Even Bakugo could have gotten it. Like the drive for being for one of the hero was about the same. Met the same people, but I guess yeah, this happens to give it to him. It happens to be the world's greatest superpower, which allows him to become the world's greatest superhero. Again, I'm not saying it's bad, but it is annoying. I mean, I know you guys probably feel the same way, right? Right? That's what I think anyway. But no, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. But yeah, all I'm trying to say is that when I watch Black Clover, it doesn't feel unrealistic, right? You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it. Like when I watch it, I'm like, he earned it. You know what I mean? When I watch it, I'm like, he deserves it. You know what I mean? Like it's not one of those feelings where I'm like, I have this annoyance of like plot holes. You know what I mean? The annoyance of like a plot hole. Like seriously, what if it gave it to anybody else? What if anybody else was there? They would have gotten the ability, and then none of this really would have happened. He would never have gotten in, like stuff like that. But yeah, that's why I think that maybe, like again, like what's his name, Austin. You know, like they're like complete opposites, but then like they feel like two halves of the same whole. You know what I mean? Like if you combine both of them together, you get your typical like shonen anime character. You know what I mean? That legit is. If you combine both of them, you get like the badassery and like the over the topness. If you combine Asta and him, you get these unusual superpowers, as well as like everybody seeing like somebody being chosen by the greatest what's the word? The greatest grimoire ever. And like you combine them, like you get this person going to the top of the tops, working his way up there, and then like becoming probably one of the greatest wizards, and probably becoming the Wizard King. I don't know, but like if you combine them together, you get a typical shonen anime main character. You know what I mean? Like this guy that's overpowered, and he knows it, and he just uses that to his best ability, and like he just keeps dominating out for everywhere he goes, right? But it's not the same with this. Like when I watch this, like even though Yuno is like extremely gifted, he doesn't like flaunt it in front of everybody. He's like he knows he's powerful, but he doesn't see himself as a greater person. He sees himself as an equal to his rival, which is Asta. And Asta, even though he's like extremely weak when it comes to magic, he doesn't see himself as a weaker person. He just sees it as another obstacle to just overcome, like he's always done. And so when I watched it, I'm like, that's right. Like whenever I see Yuno and Asta together, like it's probably like the happiest I ever feel. Like what episode was it? Episode 18, I think, where they're in those caves and Asta sees Yuno and like Asta like that, and like they look at each other and like, oh, that's so badass. It's a badass in like a different way. It's like a badassery of camaraderie. You know what I mean? Like they understand each other and know who they are, and like they because of that they're able to grow off each other, and like they're like of all like the greatest rivalry in anime. I think these two have probably the best understanding of each other because they know their powers and then they acknowledge that each other is powerful, and like because of that they each just grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's just fantastic when you watch this, and like nothing seems like unrealistic. Like each of them growing in their own personal way, and yeah, it's just like a great anime. And like all the side characters, like what's his name? What are their names again? Shit, I'm looking something like Black Clover. Yeah, all the side characters like Luck and Henry and Yami and Neto and Noel and like Vanessa and all of them, like and Finrel and Magma, like they have this very like the thing about this anime is that they all feel very what's it called stereotypes of anime tropes, but if you watch it, they're actually not. You know what I mean? Like they're so like what's it called? They're so what's the word called? Shit. They're so into. They're so good at being. No, they're like. How do I describe this in a way that I can understand what I'm trying to say? Give me 1 second. Alright, what I'm trying to say is that in this anime, despite them all having like extreme personality flaws, they always acknowledge it. You know what I mean? And like, again, trope anime characters will never acknowledge their flaws. They're like, whatever, this is just who I am. You know what I mean? But I think like the difference between that is that in Black Clover, the anime characters, I mean, their companions and all the members of Black Bull, like they all acknowledge what they have wrong with them. Like their backstory, they acknowledge the backstory, they think about it, and they grow on it. You know, they grow upon it. They grow about thinking about their backstory. And I think it's such a great thing because you know, what other anime characters like when I watch some anime, there's like they have all these like these quote unquote stereotype anime characters like the tsundere or the like the weak person or the strong person or the overly playboy types, but then they also have this like this second personality, right? They have a second personality, right? Which is they're extremely badass, or extremely like smart, extremely like cool or suave or whatever, you know what I mean? But like with Black Clover, it's almost not like that at all. Like they don't have a second personality because this one personality is who they really are, and because they acknowledge it, they're able to use their personalities and all their weaknesses that come with that personality, and they just keep growing. And like because of that, like I have this general interest to see where they're gonna go and what's gonna happen to them. Like every time like Black Clover is the only like show in anime I've ever watched. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with them. You know what I mean? Like I know what's gonna happen with them next. Like I've never like done that with them. With other animes, usually it's just the plot that really just keeps me connected to it. But with Black Clover, I'm genuinely interested in what's gonna happen to each character, where they're gonna go, and what's gonna happen to them. Because like they've made them interesting enough where like I can feel invested in them, but they've also made them like characterized enough where they feel like they're tropes, but they're really not, because this is who they actually are. It's not a trope. It's just an actual personality trait that they have. And I think that's what sets them apart, is that even though they feel like they're just another trope character, like they really are what they act like. And I think that's the best thing about it, is that Black Clover like just makes them realistic in a way where like when I watch it, I enjoy it. And when I stop watching it, I actually want to rewatch it and just see, oh, let me go see how like look at their character development. You look at this character's development. Like they have a very good character development setup, and especially with Austin, you know, like you really just see them grow and grow each episode. And like even when Yuno's not there and it's just Asa, like I'm pretty sure Yuno's training himself, going on missions right now as we speak. And it's probably, how do you describe it? It's like what's the anime called? One Piece. It's like One Piece. What's it called? Like, because they built the world around them so well, like around Yuno and Asta especially, that we know that even though like they're not always together, we know that the other one's probably on another mission as we speak. And I think that's about it. Yeah. What do you guys? Do you guys agree with me? If not, tell me why. If so, tell me so. Would you like and subscribe, Trickster?